You're gonna try and hurt me back? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yellowstone's Beth Dutton has totally divided fans. Some people love her over-the-top personality. Others hate her for being kind of crazy. If you can't make up your mind about Beth either, this video will definitely help. Here are the best and worst Beth Dutton moments on Yellowstone. I'll start with the worst thing Beth has ever done.
The only thing left to do is to kill as much as you can before they kill you.
Remember when she made Jamie kill his birth father? Here's some context if you're confused. A huge bomb dropped during the 3rd season of Yellowstone when it was revealed that the Duttons actually adopted Jamie as an infant. He reconnects with his long-lost birth father, Garrett Randall, who went to prison for murdering Jamie's birth mother. Yeah, and I thought my family was complicated. Here's a shocker. The mother murderer didn't have the best intentions. Who would have guessed it? Randall works behind the scenes to try and help Jamie claim the Dutton fortune he believes he deserves. But then Beth finds out his scheme, and it's all downhill from there. If there's one Dutton you really don't want to mess with, it's Beth, because she'll cross any moral or ethical boundary to protect her family. And that's exactly what she does. At the end of season 4, she gives Jamie literally no other option except killing his own father. And if that wasn't enough, she also blackmails him with a picture of him dumping Randall's body at the train station. Talk about dark and twisted. If you don't like Beth based on this incident, I totally get it. Yes, Beth can be intense, but she's also a total badass who loves putting bad guys in their place. Like the whole thing with the cowboy. This is one of my personal favorite Beth moments. Let's rewind all the way to season 1. Right off the bat, Beth is a lot to handle, but many fans started loving her when she clapped back at that smarmy cowboy at a bar. In episode 4, The Long Black Train, Beth lures Dan Jenkins to a packed honky-tonk bar and starts a fight to make sure he gets beat up. Okay, yes, that part is bad. But then, while they're sitting at the bar and Beth is throwing back beers, like she does, and young cowboys come up to her and make some super creepy comments, Jenkins tries to stick up for Beth and tells the guy he can't talk to her that way. Pretty heroic, until he gets throat punched. When the cowboy tells the businesswoman that she'd better have a big pistol, she responds, "I do. It's called my name, Beth Dutton. What's yours?" Total power move. And it gets even more badass when the guy just shakes his head and walks away. Name a more powerful comeback. I'll wait. I'm pretty sure we all have a good Beth Dutton takedown when it's someone we hate on the other side. But what if it's someone we actually really like? Let's talk about a moment we all hated the character, when she set up Summer. The two characters are total polar opposites. Summer Higgins is an environmental activist without a family who protests important political issues. So basically, nothing like Beth. But I think the two share more similarities than either would like to admit. Beth and Summer are both fiercely committed, and neither backs down from a fight. So obviously, they're gonna clash. Summer first appears on Yellowstone in season 4 to protest the Montana Livestock Association. And she also sleeps with John Dutton, who seriously pisses off our resident daddy's girl. The second youngest Dutton sees Summer as an easy target, obviously. She decides to use the activist to thwart the construction of a new airport that might reduce the Duttons' land. Poor Summer had no idea what she was up against. She got played by Beth and literally ended up in prison by the end of it. It was honestly pretty sad, and really not a good look for Beth. But whether you love her or hate her, you can't deny the woman is basically unstoppable. I mean, she literally survived a bombing. Yup, Yellowstone season 3 finale was pretty insane. So many characters were determined to seek revenge on the Duttons. It was a real nail-biter.
When I break you, I want to know that I'm breaking generations.
Here's a quick rundown. Yellowstone ranch lands are attacked. John is shot and begins, well, bleeding to death. Casey is involved in a shooting and a high-speed chase and ends up getting shot too. His son Tate, who was a child by the way, kills an intruder at the ranch house. So basically, there's chaos everywhere, and things really aren't looking good for the Duttons. But if we know one thing about Bethany Dutton, it's that she'll never go down without a fight. Yes, the iconic character survives a firebombing at her office that kills a bunch of her assistants. It's one of the coolest scenes in TV history. She emerges from her now destroyed office, covered in dirt, and lights a cigarette.
The whole place is smoking, Alfred. Unless the policy is just against me smoking.
It does not get more badass than this, folks. Sure, she suffers a bunch of burns and scars, but otherwise, she's fully in control. She takes care of her father and begins plotting her revenge without missing a step. You can't help but like her fierceness. It's rare to see such a strong, powerful female character on TV, but you have to wonder, are the writers taking it too far? Exhibit A. She bursts out at a young orphan for no reason. It's moments like these that make fans despise this character, and I don't blame them. It's true that Beth's cruelty is usually reserved for people who've wronged her or pose a threat to her family, but in season 4, she's super mean to Carter, a child who's done nothing to her. The two meet in the first episode of the 4th season, and when Beth steps out of the hospital for a smoke, Carter's ass reminds her of herself. And when his father dies, Beth and Rip decide to take him in. Now that we know she can't have children of her own, you'd expect that she'd be nicer to Carter, but nope. Her fleeting moments of kindness are usually interrupted by bouts of serious meanness. One time, she kicks Carter out and makes him sleep in the barn. Another, when he calls her mama, she lashes out at him and says, "You lost your mother, kid. You don't get another, and I'm nobody's mother." Oof, that's harsh. Clearly, the damage runs deep in this one. All of this is pretty dark.
We ain't going into business together.
But let's end the video on a lighter note, and one of my favorite Beth moments, her proposal to Rip. We all know that Beth is tough, mean, and ruthless. The one constant exception is her genuine, passionate romance with Rip. In flashback scenes, we see the two fall in love with each other as teenagers, but when Beth leaves for college, their romance comes to an end. Years later, though, when the series begins, Beth and Rip pick up where they left off. You can clearly see what they share is true love, because they accept both the good and bad parts of each other. It's pretty heartwarming, a word you'd never use for Beth without Rip. By the middle of season 3, she realizes she wants to marry this dependable cowboy. After her dad gives his blessing, she proposes to Rip in the episode, This Beating. It was pretty refreshing to see a tender side to Beth, and it was definitely a fan favorite moment. Well, there you have it. Those are some of the worst and best Beth Dutton moments. Whether you love her or love to hate her, no one can deny that she's a fascinating character, and I, for one, can't wait to see more of her.
Now get out of my house. Make a scene. You ready to watch that happen?
Everything I do is for him, and everything you do is for you.
Plenty of trouble if you know where to look. You should give me a call sometime. Not gonna smoke in your living room, Dan. I do have boundaries. Regret is the one thing I just won't do.
Gonna buy another drink?
Why not?
What's that?
The proper term for it would be a juxtaposition.
The day our mother died.
You know, it's 5 o'clock. Shouldn't you be in a river somewhere? You need to study harder in school, kid.
Dropped out of school.
Beth Dutton. I run mergers and acquisitions for Schwartz and Meyer. Well, I'm here. I might as well shop. Because you think it fighting you for its life is fun.
That's my desk. Not anymore. It's my desk now.
Life is perspective and you don't have any.
The only reason I'm here is because he can't trust you.
What are you doing?
You came up to me, remember?
Never thought of it like that.
It's perspective.
What does that mean?
Well, the lack of brain activity would suggest that...
It means he's gone, honey.
She's a little old to be jealous of the woman her father spends time with.
Yes, she is. Oh, Beth. I have missed you.
You know, Casey isn't like you. His center, it isn't set. This is your one chance to leave me alone with your self-esteem intact.